What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jermell Charlo, Brian Castaño. High-spirited fight for all the marbles at 154. An undisputed showdown happened tonight, and it was all right. And I mean all right because the action was there. The suspense was there. Rounds 1, I gave it to Castaño. Castaño was the busier fighter. Jermell just tried to rope-a-dope him, I feel. He was in the corner. He was looking for the counter like he normally is, especially with aggressive guys, which he's known for. He's known to shut down aggressive guys with punching, but it didn't happen in the first round. The second round, he did. Brian Castaño is a guy that will jump on you and throw punches and bunches like he does all of his fights, okay? And he got caught with a left hook. He tasted the power of Jermell Charlo, and Jermell Charlo came back and rallied the rest of that round, and no one went down. Bars. Round 3. This is the strange thing about round 3. Round 3, Jermell Charlo was setting the punches up, and he gets caught with a left hook on the inside that buckles him. He actually gets caught with 2. Okay, and that's when Brian Castaño was closer. He was a closer, shorter fighter, faster fighter, kind of like the Joshua Ruiz type, situation and scenario, right? And Castaño got that left hook in first. They actually traded left hooks, and it was very suspenseful. But it shows you Jermell, he was buckled, but he still kept on coming. Round 4, okay. I could give that to Jermell. Rounds 5, 6, 7, 8. I all gave it to Brian Castaño. Why? Because Brian Castaño was putting punches together. Jermell at times was throwing the jab, setting up the right hand, but it wasn't enough of them, okay? And then the times he would get caught on the ropes, he was taking all types of punches to the body, to upstairs, grazing punches. He was getting attacked, okay? Attacked at will a lot of these times. Now, the punches coming from Jermell, though, don't get it twisted. They were affecting Brian, but Brian didn't go down. He was getting hurt. He got buckled a few times. He got buckled again, I believe, in the 10th. Okay, the 9th I would have gave it to Jermell. The 10th I would give it to Jermell. I think he buckled him. The 11th I think he hurt him again. But then Castaño comes back in the 11th and lands his own punches. And then the 12th I have to call that even. Okay, one fantastic fight, and it showed me that Jermell needs to work on. He's good. He's a good distance fighter. I think he relies too much on his power. I think what happens at the end of the day, he's so used to getting guys out of there with counter shots, catch and shoot type traps, that he ends up, when he lands those punches, he thinks those punches are so devastating, they're supposed to do the job. No, you're supposed to do and put in the work. And I don't think he didn't put in the work when he hurt Brian Castaño this time. And Brian Castaño, younger fighter, undefeated fighter, was able to recover very quickly, and he came back and did what he's supposed to done, okay? Back and forth fight. At the end of the 9th, mind you, something that you have to know, Derek James, the trainer of Jermell Charlo, said that he needed a knockout at the end of round 9. So beginning of 10, so 10, 11, and 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds, these guys, he knew he needed a knockout. He didn't get the knockout. Okay. Tim Cheatham, 114 draw. Okay. Close. Other scorecard went to, I can't remember his name, Wiseman, 114 for Castaño. Vasquez had it 117, 111 for Jermell. That, I don't know where the fuck that came from. I don't know how he scored at that. I think he needs to be investigated. Some fucking guy had the nerve to say, oh, well, he wouldn't bet against another Hispanic. Like, that shit has anything to do with anything. It's about the money, fella. It ain't about race. It's about the money and the power and the promotional backing. Okay, that's what we've been seeing all night. And because Charlo is the favorite guy, if he was a nobody, this fight would be what it is. Castaño did what he's supposed to do. Okay, he got his pound of flesh. He got caught early. He ended up taking those punches without falling. The things that Jermell Charlo needed to win he didn't get. Okay, and that shows me that Jermell needs to focus more on finishing, okay, and less on relying on power. Brian Castaño fought a fight that Jermell has never seen. He's never seen a guy that pounces like a puma and throws rapid fire punches like that, like a Manny Pacquiao style. Okay, that he hasn't seen. So this is a new style for him. But he needed to stay busy. But I think if Jermell would have kept throwing punches like that, he might have punched himself out. Because a guy like that will keep coming until you knock him out. See, he was hoping to run into something, and at times he did. In the 11th round, he did catch him. But he didn't do what it took to finish him. Okay? Jermell Charlo, I think, needs to work on those attributes. Distance, he's great. Good chin. Good punching power. Really good punching power. You know, but I think at the end of the day, to work on that type of punch, I think they didn't necessarily want to totally rob Castaño because they were hoping that Jermell done what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to knock out Brian Castaño. And since he didn't do that, the politics that be of the sport of boxing had to come into play. And this is the result that we have today, unfortunately. Okay? Jermell Charlo got off the hook. That could have all, if the right man would have won tonight, Brian Castaño would have took all these damn belts with him. Okay? Now, was it close? It was close. Was it necessarily a robbery? Look, I think Castaño did enough to win. And I think Jermell just did enough not to lose. That's how I look at that, because he should have done what he's supposed to do. Brian Castaño couldn't have done anything else besides what he did. Okay? You couldn't say he could have been more aggressive. That's what he did. He pushed the fight. He forced the fight. He brought the fight to Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo's job was to try to keep him back and set him up with right hands. He couldn't do that. He didn't let that happen. What happened? Castaño did what he did in spots, and he did more of it than Jermell. Jermell hurt him in spots, and he looked like Jermell of old, but he didn't do what Jermell done with all the other fighters. He didn't pull a Tony Harrison. And what happened when Tony Harrison outboxed him? He lost. Okay? So, understand this, though. This is for all the marbles. This is no bullshit. Okay? This fight should be ran back, and I think this would be the very next fight for both fighters. I think it was exciting enough. I think these type of fights will come about to make people understand that certain times the right guy doesn't get the nod. But get this, it could have always been worse for Mr. Castaño, because they could have took his O, which that would have been a big, big no-no. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Jermell Charlo having a draw with Brian Castaño. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.